guys, it's Karl. Welcome to my end of the year living room tour. I know that these are some of the most popular vids, and I know that you guys love to check out all the tech that I have made to upgrade my kind of living space. There are a ton new upgrades, and Link, have you been part of a living room tour yet? Condo tour? But yeah, as this video kind of goes live, Link is approaching, or should be, I think, 1 year old now. So yeah, happy birthday to that little guy. He's my kind of editor-in-chief here. And maybe we'll start off with the new home tech pieces because it's all about the tech in my living room, which is actually today's video sponsor, which is Dyson. So we've got 3 different things to check out, 3 things that are, I think, the best in class of their category. This model specifically is their new purifier, humidifier, cooling, heating, and formaldehyde system, kind of all rolled up into one. As with most Dyson products, they've got a bladeless design, but new to this model is the humidifier option, which is actually great as we approach winter. It tends to be really dry, really cold, so that actually helps spew little droplets of water in the air to create a more comfortable kind of experience or a more comfortable living condition. I know that the air, especially here in Toronto, tends to get pretty dry in the winter. It's pretty cold. There isn't a lot of moisture in the air, so just having that extra option helps a ton. You know, with this fan, it also helps clean out allergens, and I know that Link is a hypoallergenic dog, but sometimes when he does go home to daycare, I do get a bit sensitive from, the stuff that he brings in when he interacts with other dogs. So this has definitely helped a ton with my allergies. And kind of next to that is probably my favorite piece of, I guess, home tech specifically that I've received this year, which is the Dyson Light Cycle Morph lamp. I am coming from their older Light Cycle lamp, which has now been promoted to my other bedroom. But yeah, I kind of swear by these. I think most people don't know that Dyson actually makes lamps. They're the kind of coolest design that I've seen. The head has this really cool swivel mechanism where you can bring it out to serve as a reading lamp, and that is our reading nook. That's actually Link's second favorite spot. He usually likes to be under the coffee table, sometimes on this little ottoman, and yeah, especially in that reading nook. He loves to take his naps. That's why we do have his little blanket there. It's been great because it has a built-in motion sensor. You can control all of the settings via the Dyson app, and it's slated to last decades and decades long for that LED light built in. So it's built to last. It'll probably last till the day I die. But yeah, it's been a really cool lamp, and if you can afford it, yeah, definitely worth picking up. The last piece of Dyson tech is actually the V15 laser detect vacuum. It's a vacuum that has a built-in laser inside. And if you've used a Dyson vacuum in the past, you kind of know that they are the kind of Ferraris of home tech. You cannot go back to an older shop vac or an older vacuum once you've used something like this. I wouldn't go as far as saying vacuuming becomes enjoyable, but it makes cleaning definitely a bit more bearable. This one, or I guess the V15 Complete, has this cool built-in little microscopic laser. This little laser kind of reveals all the microscopic dust that's lying around. I don't think Link likes the sound of this, so I'll kind of stop. But yeah, super handy for cleaning the place. You can kind of see in little nooks and crannies. Usually you think it's clean, but once you shine the laser on it, you'll probably reveal them to be a lot of dirt and debris. So it makes cleaning easier. It also has this LED display that shows a number of things. First off, of course, battery life. Second, the intensity, or I guess the strength of what your vacuum is pulling in. And the third, which kind of tracks the size of the dust particles or what you're picking up. This thing has some of the strongest suction power. I think it can get up to 125 RPM, and it will detect, I guess that's where the name comes from, if you're going over hardwood. It won't suck as strong as when you go over, say, on carpet, and it will actively change that on the fly. If you are someone with a pet or have kids or just kind of want to keep your place clean in general, yeah, definitely the last piece of home tech from Dyson. I would say this one has been the best, the most useful out of all 3. I still think my favorite is the lamp, but if I had to pick one for practicality, I know my girlfriend would agree, yeah, the V15 would probably be our choice. And maybe next off we'll go to the thing which you kind of see behind me, which is an upgrade to the TV, which I kind of never thought would happen. So I've left them both there. You'll see kind of behind the actual LED TV, we have my older 100-inch 4K laser TV from Hisense, or at least the screen. In front of that, we have the new upgrade, which is the 83-inch C1 OLED from LG. The main reason why I'm keeping that screen is I'm asking your guys' opinion, should I stick with the upgrade for the OLED? And of course, better picture quality. It's an actual LED, or I guess OLED panel, so better contrast ratios, way deeper blacks. During sunny days, I can actually see the TV. Or would you have a larger image size, kind of sacrifice some of the picture quality? Of course, it being a laser TV, the blacks aren't as deep. On sunny days, I can almost barely see the screen. Keep in mind, I only usually watch TV or watch stuff at night, but would you rather have a larger 100-inch display or a smaller 83-inch better panel? So I'll leave that up to you to decide, and I'll kind of maybe count the comments. Maybe I'll create a poll on Instagram. Kind of curious what you guys have to say. I've had that 100-inch since the 2014, I believe, World Cup. That's when I did that project with Hisense, so it's been with me for a long time, and it's hard to give up something that large. For the C1 OLED, on the other hand, I absolutely love these panels. Unfortunately, 83 inches is the largest size that LG currently offers. I do have their 75-inch model, which is at my studio. I have the 65-inch, which is actually in both my bedrooms. So I do swear by OLEDs. I wish they had a 100-inch model. If they did, you'd know what would replace this, but currently 83 inches is the largest in LG. When you watch this, when you create that 100-inch OLED, you know where to send it and you know what I'll upgrade to. The new addition to that TV setup is actually the SP11RA soundbar. So I've had the previous gen, the 2020 model, also from LG. I find that they pair the best. It's a simple plug and play, but this is a Dolby surround sound system. You can actually see one of these surround sound speakers that kind of sits right by Link, and the other one is off to the other side of my couch. And the best part, this surround sound system is completely wireless. Typically, surround sound systems do require a lot of wiring, drilling into walls if you want to keep cable management on point. So this kind of wireless system is probably the best soundbar option that I can recommend. The sound output is just so much better from what you're getting from your TV, no matter how good your TV's built-in speakers are. And I will say the C1 are pretty decent, but once you have a dedicated soundbar, it's kind of tough to go back to just the stock TV sound. The TV and soundbar combo are living on a Caligaris console bench, and that's a piece of furniture I've had since my first condo, actually, when I moved out of my parents' place. It's kind of held the test of time, so that is kind of matching with my little coffee table. It's in something called an acid etched finish glass. Almost looks like just a matte black finish. I do have it paired with my Xbox One S as my console of choice here at home. Typically my Xbox One X is living over at my studio along with my PlayStation 5. I honestly barely play any console games at home. I kind of reserve that for in studio with an actual gaming monitor. The majority of content I watch here is usually, Netflix. I'm trying to think what show we're watching. I watch that a lot with my girlfriend. We crushed Squid Game, and honestly, I haven't watched much TV. It's just been super hectic during Techtober, but I have heard Tiger King 2 Season 2, or Tiger King Season 2 is dropping soon, so probably gonna binge that next. And kind of looking around the rest of this little quadrant, that's most of the home tech, or I guess home tech upgrades that I've made this year. But as we get to the rest of the living room, so that's kind of behind the couch, there's a couple new things. And as I kind of look over to the side, the first one, which probably shouldn't be living here, but I guess it does, is a new set of golf clubs, which I'll quickly bring over. And surprisingly, there is a bit of tech built in, and my New Year's resolution, it typically revolves around, learning a new activity, trying out a new sport. This year, especially in lockdown, I was committed to get half decent at golf, so I am a new golfer, and I was lucky enough to partner with TaylorMade. I joined the TaylorMade team. So these are the new P790 clubs, and as frustrating as I've kind of figured out, golf is a game that requires a ton of patience. I'm a pretty athletic dude. I thought I could pick it up fairly quickly. It is so frustrating. I'm still on that hunt to shoot under 100. I did commit myself to go at least once a week this summer, we kind of ended off the season 2-3 weeks ago. There is, though, a lot of tech that goes behind making these clubs. So I actually went to a TaylorMade fitting. They set me up with all these different sensors. They had all these little diodes on me. It was kind of cool to compare my swing to, say, Tiger Woods or to see how I was hacking at a ball, but they kind of compiled all that data and said, hey, we can make these minor adjustments to these clubs to kind of suit your swing pattern. And yeah, several weeks later, I got my own custom set. The P790s have a really cool layer of speed foam. A lot of my friends who are way better than me, yeah, have definitely said there's a noticeable difference. But as I continue to break that 100 mark, there is a lot of tech that goes into making these clubs. We also have the new milled grind 3 wedges, which I'm kind of also breaking in. And as we kind of went through the fitting, the thing that I was most impressed with is how technical you can break down your swing to. So club head speed, attack angle. My toe edge they kind of tracked was slightly lagging, so each of my clubs is 1 or 1.5 degrees angled up to kind of help out my swing. Obviously, the thing that I need to do is actually get some half decent lessons, but yeah, super cool to kind of pick up a brand new sport and to have a bit of orange in the episode. This was the coolest thing that I thought that was sent over, this custom spider putter. And for all you kind of golf geeks out there, it's super cool how you can kind of custom design this on their website. You can pick the color, you can change pretty much every color option that you want. You can even get it engraved with your name. But yeah, 4 to 6 weeks later, this custom orange putter came in, and I promise you next year when we recreate this video, I will have broken 100. That's my New Year's resolution for next year. Promise. As we kind of move past where the golf clubs are, I'm probably gonna put those downstairs in my locker for the season. I do have a Bluetooth speaker. This one's just from LG. That's typically what I bring out onto the balcony. Past that, we actually have, this isn't really tech, but it came in a tech box. That's where all Link's food treats are. It did come in a Xbox Zoa collaboration, so I know that you know, Zoa, the drink that The Rock made, it's an energy drink. They did a collab with a custom Xbox controller. Once I took all that stuff out, Link's treats are in there. Link, do you want a treat? Oh, your nose is going. We gotta get him a treat. Oh, what's this? Are you being a good boy? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Good boy. And kind of moving past that, we do have a new light, or I guess lamp from Gantry, which I'll get to in a second. But that little black console, which matches my TV console, hasn't really changed too much. We still have the 2 Apple HomePods, which are actually, I guess, outdated now as they have the new HomePod minis. Maybe I should order the orange ones, but we do have the new Sonos Beam 2, and it's a great little sound system, I think especially for its size. It's got Dolby Atmos and has Apple AirPlay too, so it's a great little system, compact little unit. So if you don't have a lot of space in your place and don't have a full surround sound setup, I think having just one of these Sonos little beam bars is great, especially now with the new Gen 2. On top of that, we still have the same Samsung frame TV, and this is one of my sticking points for having this LG OLED here. When it's off, let me quickly turn it off. I know it's probably gone off a couple times during this video. Now that it's off, you can probably actually see from this video, it is pretty ugly looking. You see all the reflections from all the windows. It's just this kind of empty black box. At least the Samsung frame has the picture option. When it's off, it looks like a piece of art hanging on the wall. That's just kind of been one of my little sticking points. Yeah. Like I said, help me decide which I should kind of keep. And over on this side, that is pretty much all of the tech in my living room. If we actually move to this side, which is the kitchen, we've got a couple pieces so I can actually see right now. My 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is an absolute beast. Yeah, I did my full review on it. It is the best laptop. I no longer need to have a dedicated desktop, or my iMac Pro is just collecting dust now. When I do come home from the studio and still need to do a few more edits, still need to work late nights, that thing is just super portable. It is my go-to all-in-one machine. The M1 Max is probably overkill for most people, but if you can snag the 14 or 16 inch with the M1 Pro, money device, probably laptop of the year for me. Once again, if you can afford it and are in the Apple ecosystem, you can't go wrong. And the last kind of piece of tech, which is actually part of the kitchen, is the Bravo, which is a smart countertop oven. This thing is an absolute tank, and it actually fits perfectly in my setup as it's all stainless steel, so I think it looks perfect. But it's not meant to replace your oven, it's not meant to replace your microwave, but it can do both of those things, and it actually kind of can do them better. So the actual tech behind it, it uses coordinated pulses of light to cook hotter, faster, and with more precision than, all those other things which I just mentioned in your kitchen. It has a bunch of different preset menu options that you can choose from, and I'm honestly pretty clueless in the kitchen, and following along the recipes is really, really easy, and you can see what you're cooking inside. It actually has this cool little built-in camera to show you what you're cooking. And the way I kind of swear by it, I am someone who always finds a way to butcher chicken to somehow dry it out no matter what I do. I have cooked the best chicken dinner with this thing. It has kept the chicken moist, tender. Maybe most importantly, it's girlfriend approved. So the Brava has been the best kitchen tech upgrade that I've made. Probably this past year, and it has got me more into the kitchen, which is something that I've wanted to do also. And yeah, that's kind of pretty much all of the home tech that I've got, and all of the highlights of my living room setup. We do actually have 2 more pieces which are in my bedroom, but I'll include them as, I guess this isn't really a full condo tour, but we did grab a Peloton, which could theoretically live in the living room, but we decided to put it in our bedroom. It's just been a great little workout machine. To be honest, I think my girlfriend uses it way more. I try to hop on maybe once a week. Most of my cardio is still done by playing soccer. We're now switching to indoor soccer for the season, but they also have great classes like yoga, which I think maybe that will be my New Year's resolution. I'm trying to stretch a bit more as I get a bit older, a bit stiffer. And those Gantry lights, which I mentioned, 1 in my living room, and we actually have 2 for our bedroom, and they're these little table light lamps. The Gantry lights are super clean, super minimal. I love the modern look of them, and they're actually perfect reading lamps. I think they're perfect for the bedside. The model that I went for are the 2 Geotask lights, and once again, I can't kind of swear by them enough. They look super clean, super minimal, and once again, have that girlfriend stamp of approval, so I know that they look half decent. And anyways, that is kind of the entire tour, I guess, all the new upgrades. We still have all the old goodies like the Google Hub to kind of display the time. We've still got our Nest thermostat, all that stuff you've kind of seen on the channel before. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think Link approves. Link, are you happy with this episode? Did you finish your treats? You want to say goodbye? Just a little baby. I guess he's a little bit camera shy, but yeah, maybe next time you see one of these update videos, Link will be close to 1.5 years, maybe 2 years old. So hope you guys enjoyed this vid, and yeah, we'll catch the rest of you in one of my next ones. Peace. Link, you want to say goodbye? No? No goodbye? You just want to stick your head in my neck?